Who chose Prophet Muhammad as a husband? It was Khadija radiallahu anha. She saw something in him that she did not see in anybody else. Right? Even though he was poor. She was impressed by what? By his character. She was impressed by his honesty and his trustworthiness and his intelligence. That's what impressed her radiallahu anha. Right? And even his deen. How can I say his deen? Didn't they get married before Islam? Yes. So what's the story of their marriage? How old was Prophet Muhammad when he got married to her? 25 years old. When did he become a prophet? 40 years old. Right? How old was she when he married her? 40? Incorrect. 28 years old. The most correct opinion and authentic narration is the narration of Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu, that she was 28 years old when he married her, not 40 years old. Even though many of the books of Sirah mention 40 years old. And Wallahu ta'ala alam, my opinion concerning that is because they tried to respond to the Orientalists that tried to tarnish the reputation of Rasulullah ﷺ by marrying many women and marrying Aisha at a young age. So they said, no, he wasn't like that because he married a woman that was very old. If it was like that, he wouldn't have married Khadija radiallahu anha. But we don't need that, right? Because we have also Sauda radiallahu anha. Right? And is the man blameworthy that he wants to marry a woman his age or marry an attractive woman? Absolutely not. Right? But the correct opinion is that she was 28 years old, 3 years older than him. And she was a widow. And she had 2 previous husbands before him. And she was extremely rich. Radiallahu anha. But even deen, why did I say that? Because did Khadija radiallahu anha used to commit shirk before the Risala? Did Prophet Muhammad used to commit shirk? Absolutely not. And so they were from the Hunafa, the people that were upon the religion of Tawheed, the true religion of Ibrahim alayhi salam, and there were a few of them in Mecca. So not all people in Mecca used to commit shirk. There were people that Allah Ta'ala saved. The religion was ongoing. And so how did she know that he had good deen? How did she know? When she hired Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, she sent with him her slave Maysara. And subhanAllah, Maysara, this is the only time in the books of history, in the books of Sirah, in the books of Sunnah that he was ever mentioned. Allahu Akbar. And his only mentioning was his accompanying of Rasulullah ﷺ on his business journey. Right? But you never know what subhanAllah makes your mention everlasting. It can either be in good or bad. If I choose you, you're out. For Maysara, he informed her of what he saw within him, his good qualities. And he also mentioned to her that I never saw him prostrate to an idol. And so obviously she understood now that he was upon Tawheed. And so it is very likely that because she never also worshipped idols, she wanted somebody that was like her. Right? With deen, with Tawheed. And she also wanted a man with mission. So she wasn't shallow, right? The cars and the luxury and the money and whatever. She wanted a man with a mission. And so how did she know that Prophet Muhammad had a mission? Right? She knew it better than he did. Right? And what's the proof for that? Waraqa ibn Nawfal, her cousin, was what? He was a Christian upon Tawheed. And he was a scholar. He had knowledge of the books. And he would constantly tell his cousin Khadija radiallahu anha that Hana waqtu khuruju nabi, that it has come time for an arrival of a prophet. And it was narrated that one of the scholars of al-Yahud, he came to Quraysh one day and he started shouting at them and at the woman saying, Ya nisa'a Quraysh, inna nabiyya hadhihi al-ummah qad hana khurujuhu, man istata'at an tatazawwajahu faltaf'al. He said, this Jewish man, he came and told the woman of Quraysh, verily there has come the time now for the arrival of a prophet. And he's going to arrive and he's going to come out from your people. And so whomsoever from amongst you is able to marry him, then let her do so. فَأَخَذَتْ النِّسَاء تَرْمِيهِ بِالْحَصَى إِلَّا خَدِيجَ رَضِيَ اللَّهُ عَنْهَا. And so the women that were told this by this Jewish man, they started pelting him with stones. Except for her, except for Khadija radiallahu anha. And she said to herself that I felt that I would marry this man that was going to become a prophet. And said it's very likely that she was looking for these traits when she was seeking a husband, because many noble individuals of Quraysh asked for her hand and she would reject them one after the other. Rich people with status and whatever it is, because she didn't find what she was looking for. Right? And so she wanted a man with a mission. And also what supports this idea is that she saw a dream one day before she married Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, that the moon entered her house and landed in her lap. And so she went to her cousin Waraqa, and he interpreted it as being what? That she would marry the Prophet of this ummah. And so it's very likely that when she was seeking a husband, she was conscious of this idea. Right? And so, perhaps she was even more knowledgeable of the prophethood of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ than he ﷺ was before he received revelation.